Yes, people, what is going on? I hope you are all good. It is 1 minute to 1 in the afternoon. The England squad's being announced literally any second now, and this is my live reaction to it. I don't quite know what to expect. Obviously, the squad is now 30 players rather than 26. It will get trimmed down. Obviously, originally it was 23, and there was a lot of debate kind of sparking about who plays, who doesn't, who gets in, who doesn't. So I'm not too sure what to expect. There's a couple of obvious names that have to be in there. Harry Kane, Sterling, Mount, obviously the goalkeepers. There's a few faces we're not going to be surprised for, but there's a lot of room for debate, and I'm not too sure how this kind of announcement is going to go. It's just hit 1 o'clock. Make sure to subscribe if you're new around here, and we're going to refresh the England website. Let's see what we go. Here we are. The provisional squad 9 seconds ago has come out. The England website says, if it wants to load in front of me, the provisional squad is, yes, I'll accept all the bloody cookies, whatever you want me to do. See the squad. It's not here. That's very annoying. Come on, what are we going to do? Right, here we are. Dean Henderson, Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale. Nick Pope is left out. He was injured, not too sure about that. Trent Alexander-Arnold makes it in the provisional squad. Ben Chilwell, Connor Cody, Ben Godfrey, could see him in there. Reece James we knew was going to get in. Harry Maguire we knew. Tyrone Mings gets in. Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker and Ben White. Ben White was a kind of late addition. It came out today. Don't think he's going to make it into 26, but fair play to him. Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson is apparently fit and ready to go, which is great. I'm a big fan of his. Good to see him involved. We need a bit of leadership. Jesse Lingard, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, James Ward-Prowse is in. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish is in. Mason Greenwood is in. Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho, Raheem Sterling and Ollie Watkins. It's a good team. It's a good squad. I say team. It's a good squad. Obviously, this isn't going to be the final kind of finished product for it. But let's go through kind of all the positional groups. The goalkeepers, it's going to be Pickford in goal. I think we can all accept that. As much as maybe people would have liked other people, Dean Henderson is probably the main shout to start over Jordan Pickford. But it will be Pickford in goal, which is absolutely fine. Now, normally you can start to tell by what kind of squad and who we're taking about what kind of formation England want to play. I don't think it's that obvious from this squad, but again, because it's too big. But the fact you've got Trent in there, the fact that you've got Reece James, the fact that you've got Kyle Walker, the fact that you've got Kieran Trippier, gives me the impression that we're going to play kind of three at the back, and then the likes of the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kyle Walker will probably be more used as wing backs than as kind of right backs necessarily. Ben Chilwell and obviously Luke Shaw. There wasn't a great amount of options at left back. The other person you could potentially throw into the mix if you are going to play it three at the back is Bukayo Saka, who's in the squad. We'll come on to that in a little moment. But Harry Maguire, John Stones have got to be two of your back four or back three, whatever you want to pick. Very happy to see Connor Cody involved. Tyrone Mings is great. Ben Godfrey, I don't think he's going to make the squad, but he's a good player. Again, who knows what's going to happen. But no Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I think that would have been the more obvious choice if we were guaranteed to be playing a back four, which is why I say I think it's a little bit more based around playing a three at the back than it is a four, because I think if you're going to go for defensive stability, you have to include Aaron Wan-Bissaka because he is a very good defensive-minded player. But the fact that you've got Reece James, who can either play on the right wing-back or on the centre-back role, on the right centre-back like he's playing for Chelsea the last few weeks, gives me the impression that there is going to be a lot of width going forward, which I'm really happy about. Obviously, Ben White, late addition. Kieran Trippier also as well, another one that can go forward rather than a little bit more defensive responsibilities. Ben White could play on the right-hand side of the back three. Obviously, he has played both right-back and right centre-back as well this season, so it's good to see him involved. Yeah, I think it's a very good group in terms of defenders. Obviously, it's not like elites anymore, John Terry's and Sol Campbell's and whatever in years gone by, Rio Ferdinand's and whatever. But it's as good as we've got. Konsa obviously was one that people were saying, oh, well, he could do with a call-up. Obviously, he hasn't been included. I wouldn't expect to see him play for England anytime soon. I don't see it. I know a lot of people are talking about it online, but I just think if he'd have been in, he'd have been in already. But there we are. Jude Bellingham. Fantastic young player, and this is what I'll come on to it when I kind of round it up. Really happy to see him and a few other youngsters involved as well. I'll touch on it more at the end. Jordan Henderson is your bread and butter footballer. He is your bread and butter footballer, along with probably Calvin Phillips and also James Ward-Prowse. Now, don't get me wrong. Are those people going to be the ones that win you the tournament? James Ward-Prowse maybe scores a free kick for you, but they're not going to be the ones that are going to win you it. But every country has got those. Every country has got those. They're not all going to play. Again, Jordan Henderson will probably be a fitness thing. If he is available and ready to go, then fantastic. But I understand, of course, the fact that obviously he ain't played a lot of football, so the injury has to be somewhat of a concern. Fine, I ain't got a problem with that one at all. Declan Rice, he could do something. His height, big physical physique. Physical physique? That doesn't make any sense. Physical stature and physical body size is going to be a big problem for certain teams to deal with. So very happy to see him in there. Jesse Lingard gets rewarded for a great run for West Ham. Obviously kind of faded off a little bit as they've dropped out into the Europa League spots. Mason Mount, Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, Jesse Lingard. I find that exciting. I really do. Jesse Lingard is one of those impact players. He scores big goals. I don't care what anyone says. He scores big goals. And that's sometimes what you need to win a tournament. I don't think he's going to, again, I don't think he's going to be the person who's going to absolutely dominate it for 90 minutes, but is he going to come on and maybe grab a winner? Yeah, I do think he could. So very happy to see him involved there as well. Also as well, should probably touch on it, captain for this will probably be who I'm going to talk about next, obviously Harry Kane, but also could potentially be Jordan Henderson if, of course, he is available, fit, whatever. It's just about having leaders around the squad, which is great to see. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, very happy he's in because he deserves a call-up for certain. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, for me, no-brainers. Mason Greenwood, I have a feeling he's going to be one of the people that kind of misses out, but hey, who knows? I mean, they've got the Europa League final tomorrow night. It could be very exciting for him. So yeah, Mason Greenwood makes it in the provisional squad anyway. He can grab a goal. Same thing that Jesse Lingard can do. He is the one that could potentially make the difference. Don't expect to see him start every game for England. It doesn't make sense. Harry Kane, fantastic. Obviously, you know, England captain. He scores goals for fun. A lot of people are going to be very nervous about him. I tell a story quite often. I went to France just after the World Cup. And when obviously the French went on to win it, they turned around and said, we did not fear England at all. If it was Croatia or England in the final, we didn't care. We were going to beat either one of the two. But we were scared of Harry Kane. And that's a big thing. Even if he doesn't necessarily have a great tournament, of course, he was Golden Boot winner at the World Cup. So you'd think he'd like to be building on it, of course. But if it don't happen, I don't think we're necessarily in bad hands with who we've got around Harry Kane as well. Jack Grealish can get a goal. Greenwood, again, if he gets in, is going to potentially come off the bench and score a goal. Marcus Rashford is a great ball player and he's quick, he's energetic. If England do want to play this defensive football, which I can understand why if you're playing a back three or a back five, whatever you want to call it, Marcus Rashford could be essential to break on the counter-attack. Saka is one that I really like because I think he could play the left wing-back role depending on, again, how England want to play. Jadon Sancho, Raheem Sterling, they have to be called up. I actually don't think either of the two will start, but I can understand, again, calling them up. Then Ollie Watkins. I feel this is one of the ones that's going to drop out. There is, of course, 30 people in this squad. We do have to think about the people that are going to drop out because one of them will. I don't think Sam Johnstone is going to be England material moving forward. So if I had to guess of the four goalkeepers, I'd guess it would be him, unfortunately. Aaron Ramsdale is young, and this is something I want to touch on. There's a lot of youth in this team, which I love. It's exciting. You have to be able to get these people experience, even if it's only going to the tournament itself. They have to be involved in some way, shape or form. So I think Johnstone drops out of there. It's four that we're dropping out. I wouldn't be surprised potentially to see Ben Godfrey drop out, as much as I'm not a lover of our defensive or our central options. Also, the fact that we have got four right-backs. Could potentially see Trent. I'm not too sure. Ben White is another one. I don't know. I think that's a tough one. The midfield, I don't think any one of them is going to drop out. I think they're all absolutely fine. So maybe if you're going for one goalkeeper at Sam Johnstone, maybe you go for two defenders, because there is a fair few of them. Maybe you get rid of Ben Godfrey. I don't think you get rid of both him and Ben White. So maybe you get rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold, maybe. I'm not too sure. Or one of the other right backs. But then going forward, there's one person who I think who could be at risk, and that is Mason Greenwood. Ollie Watkins is one that he could pop up with a goal. No one really knows what to expect from him. He's obviously played once, or did he get once? He definitely scored in his England debut. I can't remember if he played again afterwards, but he's got to be in with a shout. That's the thing. He's got to be in with a shout. He's had a great season, and obviously Mason Greenwood is still young. Also, the other thing to bear in mind as well, we had the under-21s tournament in March, and England were crap, and Mason Greenwood was a part of that, as well as a few other youngsters as well. I'd like to see Saka go. I'd like to see Greenwood go to get them the experience. People are going to say, oh, what about Ings? What about Vardy and whatever? We have to be able to breed in these kind of young players from an early enough stage. And I don't think that... I think at the moment they're not going to be relied upon. And I don't want it to get to a point in 18 months' time when we're talking about the World Cup squad where they are the only hope of the country. So I'm happy with this squad. I think it's very good. It's something that I'm very happy with. I really am happy with. I think it's a good squad, and I think obviously you're going to have to trim it down slightly. I think, again, Johnson's going to be in trouble. I think Ben Godfrey's going to be in trouble. I think Trent could potentially be in trouble because there's 5 right-backs or 4 right-backs. And I think the other 2 are potentially Greenwood, Saka, maybe Ollie Watkins misses out. But, hey, I don't know. Leave your comments or leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I think it's a good squad, and I'll see you on the 1st of June when we talk about the actual definitive final squad and everything. There's a lot of content coming up for the Euro, so I'm really looking forward to it. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new around here, make sure you like, share and subscribe. A lot of content coming up, so you won't want to miss it. See you later.